this is Neeta Kapoor here, and you're watching the next episode of a series, Homeopathy Around the World. In this series, we go around the world and we meet my friends, fellow homeopaths, and we talk to them about multitude of different topics. We talk about the homeopathic practices, the education, and many other things, all revolving around homeopathy. Today, our guest is from a country which is in the heart of Europe, and it has got beautiful landscapes ranging from the mountains to the Black Sea. And this country is Romania, and our guest today is Dr. Adriana Sirbu. Dr. Adriana, she has got a practice in family medicine, and she also keeps separate time for homeopathic consultations. And we are so happy to have Dr. Adriana with us in this episode of Homeopathy Around the World. Welcome to Homeopathy Around the World, Dr. Adriana. We are so happy to have you with us.
Welcome to your project in Romania. I'm very honored for your invitation, and I'm sure that your project is already a success, especially for the people who understand, for the physicians and for homeopaths who understand the importance of homeopathy, and especially because of its results, because homeopathy is a medical science who gives the patient a really chance for healing.
Okay, Dr. Adriana, we are, all set to hear from you. So I will straight away go to the first question. And we would like to know that, if you could share with us your journey into this beautiful world of homeopathy.
About my journey in homeopathy.
Yes.
I think that in Romania, my journey is very similar like my other colleagues. I know a lot of homeopaths and I know their stories.
Mm-hmm.
So my story started around 2005 when my son was 4 years old. And when I have seen the results, the wonderful and excellent result of classical homeopathy on his case. He was very small and he was treated with a lot of antibiotics for his very recurrent episodes, acute episodes in respiratory, meaning monthly antibiotics. And after I have seen the results on my own son, at that time knowing nothing about homeopathy, I have started to read and to read and to read and to find one thing and another and understanding nothing. And I was very lucky to be treated by a very good homeopath, Dr. Ofelian Lugojan. Mm-hmm. She was the homeopath of my whole family and of a lot of my colleagues. God rest her in peace. She was our guide to the International Academy of Classical Homeopathy in Alonissos. And between 2011 and 2013, I followed the complete course of homeopathy in Alonissos, close to Dr. Ofelian Lugojan and my colleagues in my town. My first group of homeopathic physicians from my area in Alonissos. And in 2013, I obtained the diploma of academy. And starting with the next year, I was present in July every year in Alonissos to complete my knowledges in homeopathy. And until 2020, I was present there and I miss Academy very much, and I can wait to be present there in 2023 to answer yes to the invitation of our Professor George Vithoulkas to improve our knowledges in homeopathy there, in the best place where we can learn homeopathy.
So beautiful. It was your son who led you to homeopathy. And then you reached to the best place to learn classical homeopathy. I totally agree with you, and we all are waiting for the academy to start taking in students again in person and to be there in the beautiful island of Alonissos. Very, very much awaited.
Only homeopaths who are there can understand the atmosphere of study, the atmosphere of great interest to learn more and more from the experts of academy, from the team of Professor Vithoulkas, and especially from him, who tried a lot, who tried his best to give us as much as possible from his knowledges.
That's true. That's very much true. And Adriana, I'm very curious. Does your homeopathic knowledge help you in your work related to family medicine and vice versa also? Like, meaning, what I mean to say is, do you think your specialty in family medicine is useful when you practice classical homeopathy?
This is a very important question because in Romania, all homeopaths are first specialized in something, meaning family medicine, neurology, dermatology, pediatry, or so on. And after that, the competence in homeopathy. So having no specialty, you cannot practice homeopathy here. And as a practitioner in family medicine, my whole way of taking a case has changed, meaning now I am very careful to the details like desire for milk or aversion to the sun or the type of weakness or so on. Very important details which are not important at all for a simple family medicine. And my patients noticed my questions, because if I see a very clear picture, I can prescribe fast and I can help. And in this way, more and more patients find out about the results of homeopathy. And this is one point, taking a case, a very important step for treating a patient. Another important issue is information regarding relatives. In homeopathy, is very important this, because we can gain information from relatives about a case, or even we can ask for patient to come for treatment, having information from relatives, and so on. So family medicine combined with homeopathy can work together very beautiful. And also as a homeopath, information from my specialty are very important, meaning the whole pathology we have here to treat, and the whole connection of the practice to all the hospitals and all my colleagues and so on. So I think is a very helpful combination, a very lucky one in Romania, homeopathy, classical homeopathy, and family medicine.
I fully agree with you, but I love the part wherein you say that actually you have become even a more keen observer. You observe the case so much more in detail now that even your patients have started noticing it. That's
Yes,
nice.
for
They
sure. For sure.
And
Because I don't know if the large public of your project of us know, but a pediatrician, for example, in a case of tonsillitis, he prescribed very fast an antibiotic according to the antibiogram, meaning very fast. He's not interested at all if the patient is restlessness with desire for milk and very coldness, or if the patient is has a very hot face with cold extremities, and his desire is lemon, for example. For a homeopath, the prescription is very clear between Ruxox and belladonna. But for a pediatrician, no. He is not careful, he did not observe, and he does not need some such details, because for him it's very clear from antibiogramma. So it's a very different type of approaching a case.
Yes, very well explained, Dr. Adriana. And also you very nicely explained that how your knowledge of family medicine, the understanding pathologies and how it is affecting the person as a whole, that, and you have a big tech support system from your hospitals about the laboratory tests and understanding, and that helps you with your homeopathic practice. Very interesting. Now, Dr. Adriana, do we know that how homeopathy reached Romania, and the whole journey of homeopathy, where it started and how it has reached, and what is the status of homeopathy here in Romania today?
About homeopathy in Romania, we can talk a lot, many hours, about written papers we have, about the authors, about who they are and what were their experience. But I think that we can give you here only a few key points in order to have an image about homeopathy in my country. So I'm thinking about 10 key points, and I will start with a special one, because I think it's a little secret, because only few persons knows about that. So between 1777 and 1779, brilliant Dr. Samuel Hahnemann lived in our country, in Hermannstadt, and he was working here as a doctor, as a personal doctor of Baron von Bruckenthal, the government of Transylvania at that time. And between 1836 and 1837, for a whole year, we have a student of Samuel Hahnemann from Romania, from Brașov, Johann Honigberger, and he was a pharmacist, and he practiced in Romania homeopathy, both with allopathy, and he was very famous at that time because of his results. And about Romania, I think it's important to know that the first published paper in homeopathy was signed by Dr. Eduard Spitz. And I know that he finished medicine in Vienna, Austria. And another important thing is the first homeopathic materia medica published in Romania in 1946, and it was signed by Constantin Bărbuțeanu. And I know that 1 year later, in 1947, was founded the Romanian Society of Homeopathy. And only many years after, in 1980, the Romanian Ministry of Health regulated the training in homeopathic field. And I know that 1 year later, in 1981, was the first Romanian symposia in homeopathy. And it was a tradition starting with that year. So we have a national symposia of homeopathy starting with 1981. And regarding classical homeopathy in Romania, meaning the therapy with a single remedy, I must say that Professor George Vithoulkas was to the first speech in classical homeopathy in Romania in May 2000. And this very important event was only 6 months after the first module in classical homeopathy in Romania in the 4 years course of classical homeopathy. So we have diploma holders in classical homeopathy in Romania starting with 2004. And important for me is that in 2013, we have a big group from my area, meaning west part of Romania, group with diploma in classical homeopathy, meaning diploma holders from International Academy of Classical Homeopathy in Alonisos. After 3 years of study, complete course of classical homeopathy in Alonisos with Professor George Vithoulkas. So Professor George Vithoulkas was in Romania in 2000 and 2002. And starting with that year, every year, homeopaths from Romania were present in Alonisos for improving knowledges in classical homeopathy. So I know that nowadays, in present, we are more than 100 homeopaths, diploma holders from Romania, and I am sure that in time we will be more and more and better prescribers with better and better results, and we hope that we will help more and more patients in our country. In 2012, Professor George Vithoulkas was awarded with the title of Doctor Honoris Causa by the University of Medicine and Pharmacy Victor Babeș in Timișoara. The ceremony was really impressive. I was there. Also, in 2015, Professor George Vithoulkas was awarded with the title of Doctor Honoris Causa by the University of Medicine and Pharmacy Iuliu Hațiganu in Cluj-Napoca. So, it is notable the recognition of outstanding lifetime work of Professor George Vithoulkas for classical homeopathy in Romania and in the whole world.
I was surprised myself. I was not aware of this, that the founder of homeopathy, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann himself, lived in Romania for 2 years. That's very interesting. And you nicely journeyed us from that time to how the papers were published, 1947, and how in today's day there are diploma holders from the International Academy of Classical Homeopathy, and there are more than 100 of them right now, and it is getting more and more popular. That's very, very interesting.
Yes.
And Dr. Adriana, do people know about classical homeopathy in Romania? Are they familiar with the term of classical homeopathy?
I can tell you that this difference is not very clear nowadays in Romania, because there are many homeopaths and we are all named homeopaths, not classical homeopaths. And in Romania, the competency is in homeopathy, not in classical homeopathy. So there is not a clear differentiation between these terms, homeopathy or classical homeopathy in Romania.
Okay, all right. Actually, all homeopathy is supposed to be the Hahnemannian way of practice, which is classical homeopathy. Yeah, but we see a lot of variations coming up, and it is, as we have learned from our teacher, the best way to practice homeopathy is go back to the foundation, to the basics, and go along the principles of homeopathy. And that is what is classical homeopathy. And that's the way every homeopathy should be practiced, right? Don't you think so?
Yes, of course that we have to learn more and more from the best. And the best is the brilliant Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. And we are very lucky to have all the continuous line from him. And of course, I am very lucky to learn from our professor George Vithoulkas, who invite us again and again to study organon. And I invite all homeopaths to start from the roots, to study the organon again and again, because of very important information from there.
Yes, I agree with you on this. Yes, absolutely. And we did mention small bits here and there, but Dr. Adriana, do we know, or are we aware of what are the challenges that homeopathy is facing in your country, in Romania?
I think that in Romania, the challenges of homeopathy are quite the same like the challenges of homeopathy in the whole world. Meaning the evidence-based medicine. This concept is the most important challenge for homeopathy worldwide. And there are not enough investment. I think not at all investment from the government of Romania, of all the countries, in order to support researches in homeopathy, being a really chance for healing for people. And I think that if these researches will be done, homeopathy will have the chance to have the place that it deserves. Because it's true, there are needed evidence in homeopathy, but also there are needed chance for these researches with homeopathy, a chance to many studies to be opened with homeopathy. And we have already experts in homeopathy who are open to work in this direction. And I think with the professionalism and with enthusiastic and with the devotion, we can find written evidence-based medicine in homeopathy, because it is unbelievable that in this the third millennium we live, we do not have approved studies from the society, from the government, from the Ministry of Health, and all the authorities who have information and who receive information regarding the results in homeopathy. They do not take them into consideration yet, but we hope that in time they will take into consideration, and they will open their eyes and their ears to see that there is a very beautiful healing with a homeopathic remedy in hands of a professional.
You very rightly brought forward this point that the challenge is not just limited to your country, it is a challenge for the whole world of homeopathy. That, yes,
and
please go ahead.
also have to mention that the International Academy of Homeopathy was founded first in this reason, because Professor George Vithoulkas devoted the whole life in this direction to spread his wonderful experience, his excellent results using homeopathic remedies. And he gives us explanations, deep explanations, and he gives us written explanations, articles and books, who I think who are very important for us, for homeopaths all over the world, and also for allopaths. And this is a very important step, and his work of course is recognized, and he received many recognitions, and we all know about his most important prize he received in 1996. But this is not enough. We need more studies, and we need homeopathy to be recognized as a medical science because of the wonderful and excellent results.
Yes, we do need more resources. We do need more enthusiastic and dedicated researchers in this field. And the healing is beautiful. Absolutely, we all know about it, but it has to be brought in the format that is acceptable in the scientific world. In bigger numbers. Small, we are right now smaller numbers. The research is happening, the scientific data and conclusions, and there are publications on it, but we need it in bigger numbers. And you have beautifully brought up the biggest challenge that is faced by homeopathy. And I absolutely agree with you on this. And I'm sure all the homeopaths in the world agree with you on this. Yeah. And Dr. Adriana, you are a diploma holder from the International Academy of Classical Homeopathy, Greece. But I also know that you have enrolled again for the e-learning course. What is it that made you take up this course again?
I don't know how to start to explain, because I answered again and again to this question here in Romania. Being a diploma holder, yes, you can ask me why again. Because in any profession, it is needed to study more and more and more to be better and better. And also in homeopathy, to be a better and better homeopath, we have to study. And taking the example of our teacher, Professor George Vithoulkas, we know that he studied every day for hours. And we know that he studies in every case. In every case, he used books, and he used small notice from all other homeopaths. And he studied also from repertory every case. And also he's asking our opinion, and he analyzed every case in very depth. So we need to study. So why we should not? Because we do not have his experience. So knowing this and having his example, and also having the COVID pandemic environment, and having such a big missing feeling from to academy and to getting knowledge from academy, I decided to start a learning program of academy. And I can tell you from the depth of my heart that I am sorry that I did not start it earlier, because there are so many information, so much important information that I did not notice then from the first time sitting in a desk and taking notes from the teaching course. And I simply regret that I did not take it earlier. And I'm really sorry every day that I do not have time enough to study, because the most special part of the day from me, working and so on, is the time of a learning program. That's it. I simply recommend a learning program also to the beginners, starting from the zero to learn homeopathy from the best, and also from the experts in homeopathy, who really find important knowledges in this complete teaching program of our Professor George Vithoulkas.
You are very inspiring, Dr. Adriana. And you did bring up these points about the learning never stops. Even Professor Vithoulkas has spent so many hours going back to the original, books and documents, and revisiting the philosophies, teaching again and again organon, yeah, and
Yes, and also from his words, this e-learning program has the complete knowledges from him, meaning from his whole life and from his whole experience, he concept from his by himself this learning program. It is very well structured, meaning a very clear structure, very easy to follow. It is taught all by Professor Vithoulkas, no other teacher in this e-learning program. And all the examples, all the cases, all the analyses are from him, directly from him, from his voice, from his explanations, from his experience in homeopathy. And what is very important is very easy to follow from laptop, computer, from the phone, from the iPad or tablet. And also it is translated in so many languages, also in Romania. So Academy has made a huge effort for us, and Professor George Vithoulkas has made for us a huge effort to have this e-learning program, and also other tools for us like Vithoulkas Compass and so on. So I invite everybody to start again a learning program.
definitely, I am myself very inspired, and I need to take some action on that. Yes. And you brought up so many various program points about the benefits of this program. It is almost like a treasure of homeopathy lying there. It's up to us what benefit we can take out of it. Yes. And not only the program, Dr. Adriana, you visit Alonissos, Greece, and you attend the courses there in person. And so do I from time to time. And those are the times that we all cherish, and we are waiting to go back to it. But for the benefit of our viewers, would you be able to share that what are these courses that are conducted in Alonissos, Greece, in the academy?
Yes, it's a pleasure for me to say a few words about. After this complete study of academy, in person or after a learning program, all homeopaths in the world can take postgraduate courses of homeopathy by Professor Vithoulkas, with Professor Vithoulkas. They are so important. For me, it is so important to be there to academy because the atmosphere is exceptional. It is unbelievable for a person who was not there, because starting from 9 until 8 p.m., starting from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. with a break at noon, few hours when have lunch and some rest. 7 and minimum 7 hours, meaning even 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day, we stay in the classroom and we do not miss any word from professor, because our interest is so big to take knowledges from him, because his desire of sharing with us his experience and his answers to all our questions are unbelievable. I did not find out in my whole life such a course, to stay there and not to stand up and go for a bath in a wonderful sea there. And so the program is very intense, and every year we have some theory, and after that a case, and all the cases are taken live by Professor George Vithoulkas in his office, and we can see the cases live in the room outside his office, of course. And after that, we are waiting professor to come and to analyze the case, and to discuss the case, and to see repertorization, and to understand why this prescription. And what is more important, we can have the possibility to see the case in evolution next year and next year and next year, and we can see cure cases, which is wonderful. And we can learn again and again from him, from his experience.
Yes, I am almost ready to reserve my space and my ticket to Greece immediately after listening to you. And I absolutely agree with you in totality about whatever you have shared here. We not only soak in the sunshine of Greece on the beaches there, but we soak in the knowledge of homeopathy there. We come back so satisfied after our courses, and we are like, rejuvenated for one whole year and ready to go back again. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I followed many seminars and many courses in my life, but I have never met until the courses of Professor George Vithoulkas an event, a scientific event, which at the end, to be able and to have the strong desire to stay and listen again and again, more hour and more hour and more hour of explanations.
So, Dr. Adriana, you have been practicing homeopathy for some time now. I'm sure you must be having wonderful results. We would like to know, is there any kind of case or any experience that you had while treating with homeopathy that has, that is very close to your heart? Will you be able to share something on this?
Yes, so this is a very beautiful question, because all the homeopaths like to talk about. And I can tell you that I love my patients very much, especially those with wonderful results. And I can tell you about one of my case, a very beautiful girl. She was 16, and she would have taken any time the title of Miss Romania. She was really, really beautiful. And when she entered my place, my room, I was shocked because of her beauty, and I can never forget her. But her pathology was very deep, and I was very beginner. And I remember that I tried for many minutes, many minutes, to explain to her mother how important is to follow the instructions of a homeopath, how evolution could be in such a chronic disease, very long time treated with allopath cortisone, meaning she has a thick dossier with important medical documents, with important investigation of physicians I know, and I respect them a lot. But unfortunately, this patient arrived to me with a worse situation after this long time treatment. She was diagnosed with allergy from water. You cannot believe, allergy from water.
Water?
Yes, I have never heard about this, but knowing having the knowledges from academy, I took the case from step to step, and I repertorized, and I took every acute in time, and I repertorized, I wondered why this case arrived to me, because I'm a beginner. And I explained her that I have a colleague, a very experienced homeopath who was in Alonisos with me, and she can go there, but she wants to be treated by me, and I could not refuse her. And in more than 2 years, I think in three years, she was cured. And I am so happy to say this, and I can never forget her acutes, her phones. What should I do? Look, so the first acute was of phosphorus. I prescribed her, I think, for 3 times in acute phosphorus, but not only phosphorus, but the patient was so disciplined, and she was listened to my advices to communicate very much. And this was my first, I think, my first chronic case, cured chronic case. And she was so bad when she arrived to me, because she could not take a shower. She could not take a shower. She was so beautiful, and she was terrified to take a shower because of her skin eruption after shower. And fortunately, I could help her, and I will never forget. So the continuum unified theory of diseases from our teacher George Vithoulkas is very important, and I think that any physician should know about this theory, should take into the consideration, because because every patient has a history of pathology, and if we take into consideration this history, we can help.
I can see the satisfaction you have gained from by treating this case, because you have followed it through and you have just not left it at a stage treating either the acutes or let them come to you only in chronic situation. You have seen the case in totality. You have treated the acutes as well as the chronicity of the case. And it did take you time, because I'm sure there must be a reason for it, the kind of level of health the patient must be in. So congratulations for that. And I'm sure there are many, many cases to congratulate you for nice successes. So, Dr. Adriana, you are a medical professional, but I would like to know from you that what advice would you give to the young medical professionals about homeopathy, the scope of homeopathy?
It is an honor for me to give a message, an advice for younger professionals. Classical homeopathy is a medical science, a very complex science with excellent results. And if you want to become a good homeopath, learn from the best. Learn from the best and study and study and study, and with enthusiasm and with dedication and with creativity, you can help a lot of people, and you can arrive to the wonderful healing, and the satisfaction is excellent, is famous, is undescribable. So learn from the best, and learn from International Academy of Classical Homeopathy, and take a learning program. You can learn homeopathy from the beginning with the best, with Professor George Vithoulkas in your own language. So I want to use this interview to express my whole gratitude, my whole respect, my deepest love to the teacher, to the mentor, Professor George Vithoulkas, because he changed not only my approach of taking a case, my way of finding the best solution in helping every patient, but my whole life.
That was very touching. this kind of devotion from a student towards a teacher. And this has come because there is a truth there. The very truth that you mentioned, that, and if you are keen learner, learn from the best. And your beautiful sharing about Professor Vithoulkas, I'm sure, like me, the viewers also feel it, about how much you have gained and how much so many students of Professor Vithoulkas have gained, not only just to be a homeopath, but to be a better human being. This was very profound, very beautiful, Dr. Adriana. And this was the last question, and very apt last question, I should say, for this episode. But we are not ending it straight away. We have to toast to homeopathy. We have to toast to homeopathy for its progress. And we can only toast in those three defining words, which are very important to homeopathy. And those words are similia similibus curantur. So, Dr. Adriana, I'm sure you've got a glass of juice with you. In fact, it looks like wine to me. What is it, Dr. Adriana, in your glass?
It is a cherry juice,
Cherry.
but it is a wine, and it is like a wine glass.
Yes, it looks
And
like a
it is
wine.
full of
but it's
my
a
whole
cherry.
love. It is red like my love. My
Oh.
love for homeopathy. So, similia,
Similibus curantur.
curantur.
Yes, let's have a sip. Thank you, Dr. Adriana. That was amazing sharing. It came from the heart. We all felt it. And the amazing work you are doing for homeopathy in Romania. We wish you all the best, all the success. And we want to see more and more homeopaths practicing classical homeopathy in Romania. With this, we come to the end of the session here. Thank you, Dr. Adriana. That was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you too. All my love to you. And thank you, Neeta, very much. And thank Academy. And thank Professor George Vithoulkas. And thank God for the chance I received.
Hello, viewers. Now, Dr. Adriana and I would like to hear from you. We would like to hear an answer to this question. How do you think we can encourage the younger generation to study classical homeopathy so that the future generations benefit from the treatment of homeopathy? Do put your answers in the comment below. With this, I come to the end of this episode, and I will see you in the next episode with yet another exciting conversation in an exciting country. Till then, this is Neeta Kapoor signing off. Thank you for watching. See you next time.